the Irish farmer's secret to a long and hardy life. What if I told you that the real secret to longevity is buried in the dark, rich soil of a windswept field in rural Ireland? It sounds too simple to be true, but the evidence is becoming impossible to ignore. A groundbreaking 2024 study from the Royal College of Surgeons in Dublin followed over 10,000 adults for 2 decades. The results were astonishing. They found that elderly residents of rural Irish counties, particularly those with a history in agriculture, had a 35% lower incidence of frailty and a significantly lower rate of age-related muscle loss compared to their urban counterparts who followed modern health advice. This isn't about luck, it's about a way of life, a set of principles that forge a hardy, long-lasting vitality. We have spent months analyzing this data and talking to longevity experts to distill these principles into 7 powerful secrets. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment. Let's uncover these secrets together. Number 7, the power of purposeful movement. We are often told to exercise. We are told to go to the gym, to walk on a treadmill, to lift weights in a specific, repetitive way. But the Irish farmer doesn't exercise. His entire life is an act of movement with a purpose. This is a critical distinction that modern science is only now beginning to appreciate. Think about it. When you lift a dumbbell, your goal is simply to lift the dumbbell. When a farmer lifts a bale of hay, his goal is to feed his livestock. The mind and body are connected in a profound way. The movement has meaning. This is what researchers at the Stanford Longevity Center are now calling functional fitness. They published a paper in the Journal of Gerontology last year suggesting that consistent, varied, purpose-driven movement is vastly superior for maintaining balance, bone density, and real-world strength than structured, isolated exercises. Let me tell you about Seamus, an 82-year-old retired dairy farmer from County Clare. Seamus has never set foot in a gym. His shoulders are broad, his hands are thick with calluses, and his handshake is like a vice. His workout begins at sunrise. He walks his fields, not on a flat, predictable pavement, but on uneven ground. This simple act constantly challenges his balance and strengthens the small, stabilizing muscles in his ankles and hips, which is the #1 defense against a devastating fall. He doesn't lift weights. He carries buckets of feed, mends stone walls, and pulls weeds from his garden. Each movement is different. One moment he is twisting to lock a gate, the next, he is squatting down to inspect a plant. Then, he is pushing a heavy wheelbarrow. This is the opposite of a repetitive treadmill walk. His body is always guessing, always adapting, always growing stronger in a practical way. Last year, his grandson, a 30-year-old office worker, tried to help him for a day. By noon, the grandson was exhausted and sore. Seamus just chuckled and kept working. He wasn't trying to be a strong man. His strength is simply a byproduct of his purpose. This is the secret. It's not about finding time to exercise. It's about finding a life that requires you to move. You don't need a farm to do this. Carry your groceries instead of using a cart for the last part of the way to your car. Get on your hands and knees to garden, even if it's just a few pots on your balcony. Choose to walk to the corner store instead of driving. Find a purpose for your movement, and your body will thank you for it in ways a gym never could. Number 6, the dirty diet. Eating from the earth. We have been sterilized into sickness. Our modern world is obsessed with sanitizing everything. We wash our vegetables with special soaps. We peel every fruit, and we live in hermetically sealed homes. The old Irish farmer's diet was, for lack of a better word, dirty. And that was its strength. I'm not talking about filth, but about the natural microscopic life that comes from food pulled directly from healthy soil. A recent report from the Mayo Clinic highlighted the crisis of our gut microbiome. Our internal ecosystem of bacteria has become dangerously depleted, leading to issues with digestion, immunity, and even mood. The Irish farmer was constantly replenishing this ecosystem without even knowing it. Let me introduce you to Bridget, a 79-year-old woman from County Galway who has kept a vegetable patch her entire life. When Bridget pulls a carrot from the ground, she doesn't scrub it sterile. She gives it a quick rinse under the tap and she eats it. That carrot is coated in microscopic soil-based organisms. These are not germs to be feared. They are powerful probiotics that seed the gut with diverse, healthy bacteria. Her diet is profoundly simple. It consists of what she can grow or what her neighbors grow. Potatoes, cabbage, leeks, onions, kale, and beets. These are not exotic superfoods flown from across the world. They are humble, nutrient-dense vegetables grown in living soil. Scientists from Harvard Medical School have found that the variety of plant fibers from these root vegetables is the preferred food for our good gut bacteria. They ferment these fibers and produce powerful anti-inflammatory compounds called short-chain fatty acids. Think of these compounds as a healing balm for your entire body, reducing the chronic inflammation that is the root cause of so many age-related diseases. Bridget also eats fermented foods, another cornerstone of this dirty diet. She makes her own sauerkraut from her cabbage. This isn't the dead, vinegary stuff you find in most supermarkets. It's alive, teeming with lactobacillus bacteria, the same kind found in expensive probiotic pills. A single forkful of her homemade sauerkraut can contain more beneficial bacteria than an entire bottle of supplements. The lesson here is to get closer to your food source. Visit a farmer's market. If you see a little bit of soil on your potatoes, don't panic. Give them a gentle wash, but don't scrub the life out of them. Try making your own fermented vegetables. It's simpler than you think. You're not just feeding yourself, you are tending to the vast, vital garden within you. Number 5. The forgotten vitamin, full-fat dairy. For the past 50 years, we have been told a lie. We have been told that fat, especially saturated fat from animal sources, is the enemy. We were instructed to drink skim milk, eat low-fat yogurt, and shun butter in favor of processed margarine. The Irish farmer never listened, and it turns out he was right. A landmark 2023 review in the medical journal JAMA, which analyzed dozens of studies, found no significant link between the consumption of full-fat dairy and heart disease. In fact, some studies suggested a protective effect. The reason lies in a forgotten, fat-soluble vitamin that is almost exclusively found in the fat of grass-fed animals, vitamin K2. Let me tell you about Patrick, a sharp-witted 88-year-old from a small village in County Cork. Patrick has been drinking raw milk and eating rich yellow butter from his neighbor's grass-fed cows his entire life. His doctor is baffled. At 88, his arteries are remarkably clear, and his bone density is that of a man 20 years younger. The secret is likely vitamin K2. You see, most of us get enough vitamin D and calcium for our bones. But here is the problem. Without a director, the calcium can end up in the wrong places. It can deposit in our arteries, making them hard and stiff, or in our joints, causing painful arthritis. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic cop for calcium. It activates proteins that tell calcium where to go, directing it out of our soft tissues and into our bones and teeth where it belongs. Skim milk has virtually no vitamin K2 because the vitamin is in the fat that has been removed. The butter Patrick eats, a deep yellow color, is a sign that the cows have been eating fresh green grass rich in vitamin K1, which they then convert to the powerful K2 in their bodies. He consumes about 150 micrograms of K2 a day just from his butter and milk. To put that in perspective, that's the amount you would find in about 4 ounces of goose liver pâté, something most of us don't eat regularly. The rich, creamy yogurt he eats also provides probiotics and fat, a perfect combination. This isn't a license to eat endless amounts of processed fatty foods. The secret is the quality. It's about consuming full-fat dairy from healthy, grass-fed animals. Look for butter that is a deep yellow, not pale white. Choose full-fat plain yogurt instead of the sugary, low-fat versions. You are not just enjoying a richer taste, you are providing your body with a critical nutrient that modern dietary advice forgot. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it and subscribe. Your support helps us create more content like this to help our community thrive. Number 4. The social harvest, the strength of the tribe. In our modern world, loneliness has become an epidemic, and it is as dangerous to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. This is not an exaggeration. It is the conclusion of numerous studies, including a major report from the US Surgeon General. We live in isolated homes, communicate through screens, and have fewer deep, meaningful connections than any generation before us. The Irish farmer's life provides a powerful antidote, the constant, embedded, and obligatory nature of a small community. This isn't just about feeling good, it's a biological necessity. Let's talk about Mary, a 91-year-old woman who has lived in the same parish her whole life. She never married and has no children of her own, yet she is never lonely. Mary is the matriarch of her community. Her social life isn't scheduled. It's not a once-a-week book club or a seniors center meeting. It is woven into the fabric of her day. The postman stops for a cup of tea and a chat. Her neighbor's son drops by to chop some firewood for her and stays to talk about the local football match. She is part of the local church group, which organizes meals for families who are sick or have had a new baby. She knows everyone, and everyone knows her. She has a role. She is needed. A fascinating study from the University of California, Berkeley, found that this feeling of being needed, of having a purpose within a social group, triggers the release of hormones like oxytocin. Oxytocin doesn't just make us feel good, it actively lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. It reduces inflammation and even helps with cellular repair. When Mary laughs with her neighbor, her body is literally producing its own anti-aging medicine. This constant low-level social interaction is like a vitamin for the soul. The structure of the rural Irish village provides this automatically. There's the pub, the church, the general store. These are places of commerce, yes, but they are primarily places of connection. People look you in the eye. They ask about your family, they share gossip, they offer help. This is the social harvest. We can cultivate this in our own lives, even if we live in a city. Make it a point to know the name of your mail carrier or the cashier at your local grocery store. Join a local club that isn't online but meets in person. Volunteer. Offer to help a neighbor. The goal is to move from scheduled, formal interactions to a life where human connection is a constant, natural, and expected part of your day. It is one of the most powerful things you can do for your health. Number 3, the rhythm of the land, syncing with nature. Our bodies have an ancient, internal clock. It's called the circadian rhythm. For millions of years, this clock was set by the rising and setting of the sun and the changing of the seasons. Today, we have broken this clock. We live under artificial lights, staring at blue-lit screens late into the night, and we eat the same food year-round, regardless of the season. This desynchronization is a major source of stress on the body, contributing to poor sleep, hormonal imbalances, and a weakened immune system. The Irish farmer lives, by necessity, in sync with the natural world. Consider Eamon, an 85-year-old sheep farmer. His day is not dictated by a digital alarm clock, but by the first light of dawn. Seeing the bright, natural light of the morning sun within the first hour of waking is a powerful signal to the brain. It shuts off the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone, and triggers the release of cortisol in a healthy, natural spike that gives him energy for the day. This simple act sets his internal clock perfectly. Throughout the day, he works outdoors, exposed to full-spectrum sunlight. This allows his body to produce vitamin D naturally, but it does something more. It keeps his clock perfectly calibrated. As the sun begins to set, the light changes. The blue light fades, replaced by the orange and red hues of sunset. This is a signal to his brain to begin producing melatonin, preparing him for a deep restorative sleep. He doesn't sit up late watching a bright television screen, which bombards the brain with blue light and tricks it into thinking it's still daytime. By 9 p.m. his house is dark, and he is asleep. A 2022 study in the journal Current Biology showed that just one weekend of camping away from artificial lights was enough to completely reset the circadian rhythms of study participants, leading to dramatically improved sleep quality and next-day alertness. Eamon's diet is also seasonal. In the spring, he eats fresh greens. In the summer, berries. In the autumn and winter, he relies on the hearty root vegetables and stored grains he has harvested. This seasonal eating provides a diverse range of nutrients and phytonutrients throughout the year, aligning his body's needs with nature's provision. We can all apply this. Make it a non-negotiable rule to get outside for at least 15 minutes of morning sunlight, without sunglasses if possible. In the evening, dim the lights in your home. Install apps on your phone and computer that reduce blue light after sunset. And try to eat seasonally. Visit a farmer's market and see what's truly fresh. Aligning yourself with these ancient rhythms is a free and profoundly effective way to reduce biological stress and improve your health. Number 2, the toughness. Mindset, embracing discomfort. Modern life is a quest for ultimate comfort. We live in perfectly climate-controlled homes, we drive in comfortable cars, and we seek to eliminate every possible source of physical or mental strain. This relentless pursuit of ease has made us soft both physically and mentally. The Irish farmer embodies a different philosophy, a mental and physical toughness born from embracing, not avoiding, discomfort. This concept is now being studied under the name hormesis. Hormesis is the idea that small, manageable doses of stress can trigger a cascade of protective, anti-aging responses in the body. Let me tell you the story of Deirdre, an 80-year-old woman who lives in a stone cottage on the Dingle Peninsula. Her house can be drafty in the winter. She doesn't crank up the thermostat to a tropical temperature. She puts on a thick wool sweater. This small act of enduring a bit of cold has a powerful effect. Her body has to work slightly harder to maintain its core temperature, a process which burns a special type of fat called brown adipose tissue, or brown fat. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen have discovered that activating brown fat improves metabolic health and can make the body more resilient to temperature swings. Deirdre also practices what you might call intermittent fasting, not because it's a trendy diet, but because it's a way of life. She eats a hearty breakfast after her morning chores, a simple lunch, and a very light, early dinner. She doesn't snack. This gives her digestive system a long rest overnight for about 14 to 16 hours. During this fasting period, her body activates a cellular cleanup process called autophagy. Think of autophagy as your body's internal recycling program. It identifies old damaged cellular components and gets rid of them, making way for new, healthy cells. This process is one of the most powerful anti-aging mechanisms we have, and it is primarily triggered by the absence of food. Deirdre's life isn't easy. She has faced hardships, from harsh weather to economic struggles. This has cultivated a mental resilience. She doesn't catastrophize small problems. She has a deep-seated understanding that life involves discomfort and that she has the strength to endure it. This mindset dramatically lowers her psychological stress levels. We can build this toughness in small ways. Try turning the shower to cold for the last 30 seconds. It's a shock, but it triggers a powerful hormetic response. Try to finish eating for the day by 7 p.m. and don't eat again until breakfast. And when faced with a small annoyance, practice a moment of acceptance instead of immediate frustration. By embracing small, manageable discomforts, you are training your body and mind to be stronger, tougher, and more resilient to the inevitable challenges of life. Number 1. The ultimate secret, the humble potato. We have arrived at the number 1 secret, and it may be the most surprising of all. For decades, this food has been demonized by diet gurus. We have been told it's a bad carb, that it will spike our blood sugar and make us gain weight. I'm talking about the humble potato. For the Irish farmer, the potato was not a side dish, it was the staff of life, and it contains a secret weapon for gut health and longevity, resistant starch. The Irish farmer didn't just eat potatoes, he ate them in a very specific way. He would boil a large pot of potatoes and eat some hot for his dinner. Then the pot of leftover potatoes would sit on the cool counter overnight. The next day, he would eat them cold for lunch or lightly fried. This act of cooking and then cooling the potatoes is a form of kitchen chemistry that transforms them into a superfood. When a potato is cooked and then cooled, some of its starches undergo a process called retrogradation. They change their structure and become resistant to digestion in the small intestine. This means they don't get broken down into sugar and absorbed into the bloodstream. Instead, this resistant starch travels all the way down to the large intestine, where it becomes the ultimate food for your good gut bacteria. It is a powerful prebiotic. When your gut bacteria feast on this resistant starch, They produce massive amounts of those beneficial short-chain fatty acids we talked about earlier, especially one called butyrate. Butyrate is a miracle compound. It is the primary fuel source for the cells that line your colon, keeping your gut wall strong and preventing a condition called leaky gut. It is profoundly anti-inflammatory, not just in the gut, but throughout the entire body. It improves insulin sensitivity, which is crucial for preventing type 2 diabetes, and some studies from the British Journal of Nutrition even suggest it can protect brain health. Imagine having a scrubbing brush for the inside of your colon that also feeds the good guys and releases a healing substance. That is what resistant starch does. An average-sized potato that has been cooked and cooled can contain up to 15 grams of resistant starch. That is more than what most people get in an entire week. The old Irish diet, rich in cooled potatoes, oats and legumes, was a factory for producing butyrate. So the secret is not just to eat potatoes, but to embrace the leftover cooled potato. Make a potato salad. Add some cooled boiled potatoes to your green salad for lunch. You are not just eating a delicious and satisfying food. You are providing the most potent fuel possible for your internal ecosystem, laying the foundation for a hardy and resilient life from the inside out. So the true Irish farmer's secret to a long and hardy life isn't found in a single pill or one magical food. It's a philosophy. It's a life built on a foundation of purposeful movement that keeps the body strong and agile. It's eating simple, real food from the earth, teeming with life that nourishes the garden within us. It's having the wisdom to consume nourishing fats that our bodies have craved for millennia. It's the profound life-giving power of a tight-knit community, the social harvest that feeds the soul. It's living in sync with the ancient rhythms of night and day, and embracing small discomforts to build a resilient mind and body. And yes, it's the surprising power of the humble, cooled potato. It's a simpler, tougher, more connected way of living that our modern world has forgotten, but that our bodies desperately remember. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 secrets resonated with you the most, and is there a simple change you might consider making this week? Let us know in the comments below. Your stories and insights are an inspiration to our entire community. If you found this information valuable, please consider subscribing to our channel for more videos to help you live a healthier, more vibrant life.